Today, we are here to have a press conference on the ending of the trip from the sister city delegation coming from Madison, led by Mayor Satia Rhodes Conway. We are very appreciative of their visit. This is a 1 week, I wouldn't call it a study tour, but a 1 week courtesy call to the city of KMC under my leadership to see how we can further strengthen the relationship that we already have between the two sister cities. The week has been full of adventures, learning experiences, and building of relationships. We'd like to thank the entire delegation of 21. I wouldn't be able to call everyone's name, but representatives from the city, including the alderpersons, Barbara and Charles, and of course the people from the Sister City Committee, which is led by Mr. 𝒊𝒏𝒈, who couldn't be here, but represented by Musa Jallo, and of course the founding member, Mr. Samba Balde, who is now a state representative. I think the visit has been a tremendous learning experience for all of us. I've actually become friends with the mayor now, I think, and it's always important to have that human touch. As we all know, the sister city relationship has benefited KMC tremendously. We spoke about the lessons we've learned in terms of waste management, education in the form of the library, and of course, in terms of capacity building, etc. We hope that the sister city relationship can be a platform for a greater Wisconsin-Gambian relationship, a greater Gambian-American relationship. And we hope many good things can come from this. Of course, as a developing country and as a smaller, poorer municipality, we wouldn't want this to be one way. We believe we have a lot to offer. We think there's a lot that Madison could also benefit, and the people of Madison, and starting with an exchange of culture, and of course, an opportunity to invest. So we know there's a business development expert here from the city, and they've been already looking at different sectors. They've paid a visit to the Bakote Fish Market, the Women's Garden, the dump site. We want to attract investment to KMC from Madison and Wisconsin at large. So before I take all the limelight, I'd like to thank everyone, including the directors of KMC, our councillors, deputy mayor, members of staff, the people, for being so hospitable. And of course, we want to send a special thanks to the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, of course, the State House, with the leadership of the President, and of course, the Chief of Staff, Chief of Protocol, and all those who have been involved to make this trip a success. So without further ado, Mayor, we'd like to extend a heartwarm congratulations and gratitude for your visit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be here, and I want to thank the Lord Mayor for his hospitality and all the work that he and his staff and the council have done to bring us here and to make us feel welcome and to allow us to see so much of this great municipality. I think that, as the Lord Mayor has said, there are many things that we have worked on together already, but I think we go home with a longer list of things that we can work on. Some of the things that we have discussed, we have talked about ways in which we can help the Women's Garden. We have talked about ways in which we can support renewable energy technologies. We've talked about ways that we can support land use planning and zoning, and other technical assistance that we may be able to bring, not just from the city of Madison, but from Madison College, from the University of Wisconsin, from the state government in Wisconsin, and perhaps beyond. I do want to highlight that one of the things that we came here to do was to sign a memorandum of understanding between Madison College and the Ministry of Education, and that was accomplished, and there have been many, I think, important and productive meetings already between the college and the ministry, and so I'm hopeful that that memorandum of understanding will lead to a greater partnership, not just between the sister cities, but between the educational institutions for the betterment, not just here of students in the Gambia, but also of students in Madison. I think in summary, there is much opportunity that this sister city platform can bring, as the mayor said, not just to Kanifing and the Gambia, but also to Madison. And I think that our delegation goes home transformed into advocates for the Gambia, and we will be sharing what a welcoming and wonderful experience we've had here on the smiling coast of Africa and here in the heart of the Gambia, Kanifing. So thank you again to everyone who has made this trip possible. It's really been, I think, an amazing and eye-opening experience for our delegation, and we are very pleased with the welcome that we have received and of all the things that we have witnessed and learned here in Kanifing. So it's really been my pleasure, and I think I can speak for the entire delegation that it's been our honor to visit you. Thank you. Charles, Barbara, and then Ron.
Hello, everybody.
It's not gonna, it's just talk.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Charles 𝒉𝒆𝒏𝒈. I'm the alder on City Council for the Madison North Side. I'm honored to be here today. Just wanted to start off by thanking Samba, because Samba actually asked me to come to Africa on this trip. And one thing I want to definitely say is that I am honored, and I want to definitely take back what I've learned here. And what I've learned here, especially after going to Goree Island, is that I must take back to the people about we're all Africans. And we have to make sure that we tell the people where they came from. To have that resilience that Samba has, to come from a village and to be able to rise up to be a state assembly, no different from myself rising up to be an alder on a city council. Our voices must be heard on city council, just like it's heard everywhere else. So it's important that I thank everybody here for allowing us to come here, especially the Lord Mayor and all the people that actually made this happen, even for my mayor to be here and actually be a part of this great venture. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Harrington McKinney, and I have served for 4 years on the Madison City Council. I'm here today because we paved the way for Black women to serve on the Madison City Council. Being here within this environment said to me is that if we can encourage women to step forward and serve in city government, we can encourage you to step forward in city government. The deputy mayor back there who is taking pictures serves in leadership. Bente serves in leadership. Leadership means willing to step forward. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You just must say yes. And even though I wanted to step back, being here for this week, seeing the commitment, the motivation, and daughters that I have adopted, and they call me Mama Barbara, it has been rewarding. And so I thank each one of you for reminding me of my Blackness. That doesn't matter. I don't have to step back. I can rub all day, but I will be a sister of Blackness. And I take that back with me. My heart is with you. I want to thank my friend, Alder Balde, who invited me to come. I thank the sisterhood that has evolved. You are my sister city. I take my heart with you, and please take my heart with you as well. Thank you so very much for doing that.
Good afternoon. My name is Norman Davis. I'm the director for the Department of Civil Rights of the City of Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm delighted to be here with you today. I want to extend my gratitude to the Lord Mayor 𝒊𝒏𝒇𝒐𝒓𝒆 of Kanifing, Mayor 𝒖𝒕𝒉𝒆𝒏𝒂𝒂💄 of Madison, Wisconsin, Representative Samba Balde, and Musa Jallo. I'm overjoyed for the relationships that we have created during this visit, and I'm honored and grateful for the excitement and hospitality that we have received. From my heart, I say thank you. Words and language truly fail to acknowledge and appreciate the legacy of Africa. Greatness, ingenuity, industry, and pride. At the same time, centering humanity and the dignity of all people. My wonderful friends in Madison, from the Gambia, Senegal, Togo, Liberia, Rwanda, and Nigeria, are just a small representation of the love, warmth, and kindness that we have received on this visit from all of you, the people of the Gambia. As an African American, it is a pleasure to stand in solidarity with you, my brothers and sisters, working toward equity for descendants of Africa, particularly for girls and for women and our neighbors that are differently able. It is a pleasure to work together on our common interests and issues, including the protection and growth of small businesses, expanding access for real estate development opportunities, instituting fair contracting procedures, and building an engaged workforce with sustainable wages through access, education, and accountability. And so I want to leave you with a quote from my mentor, who reminds us that it's not our numbers that matter, but it's how unified we are. And so we stand in solidarity and in unity, and we thank you for this opportunity.
Good afternoon. My name is Musa Jallo. I am a city board member of the Madison Kanifing Sister City. Like my colleague said, we are very pleased to be here. Madison is a home for me. Kanifing is a home for me. So connecting the two cities, it's like I'm home at both cities. So we are very happy to be here, and thanks to the mayor for the hospitality. He went above of our expectations. So we want to thank the whole Gambian people and the whole staff of the KMC, and thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Al Nimbara on Jarama. So I want to get started by really, first of all, thanking the mayor of the city of Madison. The sister city had existed for almost a decade. We've never gotten a mayor from the city of Madison to visit any of the sister cities. So thank you for being the first, for visiting the first sister city out of all the sister cities that you have, but also for making time out of your busy schedule to be here. So we are very appreciative as Gambians. I am very appreciative as American, and very appreciative as my mayor that you are able to make the time to be here. So thank you for making the time. The second person that I would like to thank is my dear friend, Mayor Talib Bensouda. It's difficult for me to talk about my friends, but Talib is an excellent guy. He's an excellent guy, not because he's a politician, but he's an excellent guy because he is somebody who cares about other people. So I don't want to go into detail about what that means, but I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, thank you so very much for having us here. Thank you so very much for visiting with us for the past couple of years, but also thank you so very much for making this a real relationship. If it wasn't you, you knew what happened before you came to office, how this wasn't a relationship. So your work is recognized, your efforts to really change lives, not only in the municipality, but in this country, is really, really appreciated. So thank you for everything that you do. I also want to take the opportunity to really thank the staff of KMC. Without you, we wouldn't have been here. Without you, the stories that all these people and all those people would have taken back to Madison wouldn't have been a pleasant story. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to Jaja. Thank you to Mr. Hydra. Thank you to all of you, Osman Gay, and thank you to the rest of you for making this a very successful trip. We are really very appreciative of your work, your hospitality, and everything that you did to make this thing a success. I would also like to thank my fellow elected officials, Barbara McKinney, Charles Mianze, and everyone in the delegation who was able to make time and be here. Each and every one of you left your very busy schedules to be here. I hope you have all made all the connections that you needed to make. The schedule was put together to make sure that each and every one of you with your speciality is able to make the connections that are important to you, are important to KMC. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of this trip. So one thing I want to be very clear about the sister city, or maybe before I go there, I also want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adama Barrow. We just came out of a courtesy visit to his office. I think everybody understands that Gambia is one Gambia. It may have municipalities and other units, but they are meant to help us develop this country. And I see the President have that understanding. And hopefully, the sister city will be a lubricant to make sure that moves forward. And it is all our responsibility to make sure that happens. So thank you to the President as well and his staff for welcoming us this morning. So I just now go back to the essence of the sister city. The sister city is the relationship between the city of Madison, but also the city of Kanifing. But the relationship is not limited just to Mayor Talib Bensouda and Mayor Sadiaron Kanwe. It is a relationship from Madison, from the state of Wisconsin, to Kanifing, to the Republic of the Gambia. If any one of you is interested in advancing any of your agendas, connect with Talib. He should be able to connect you with resources and advance your project. So don't see this as a relationship just between Madison and Kanifing. This is a relationship between Madison, Wisconsin, and Kanifing in the Republic of the Gambia. It is important to note that, so that as you are thinking of projects or things that can come out of this, do not limit it just to KMC. And as part of this trip, we've talked about a landfill, a dump site. That is for all Gambians. We've talked about education, how one of the best technical colleges in the United States has just signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of Gambia. That is not Mayor Talib's municipality, that is the Gambia. We've also had CEOs of tomorrow, for example, who is working with students here in the urban area, but also in the rural areas. So this relationship is a relationship between the Gambian people and the American people. So a lot of things has happened. I think the two mayors has alluded to our success. I think when we are taking questions, if there is that opportunity, we can speak to some of the detail that you may be curious about. But also I want to thank the media and everybody who's been here for being here and spreading the word. And so thank you so very much. We are looking forward to more of this kind of visits. Hopefully, at some point we'll receive a delegation like this in the United States and the city of Madison. So thank you, all of you, for the opportunity to do this.
All right. So the mayor has a small gift she would like to present to the councillors. Mayor.
Yes. So I would first like to present a gift to the Deputy Mayor. It's a very small token of our appreciation from the delegation. And so for you, Madam, thank you so much. And then for the other council members, we have gifts as well for any of the other council members that are present.
26.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
All right, so I think now we'll take a few questions before we can call the press conference a wrap. Any journalists who would like to ask a question, let us know. Go ahead. State your name and media. Yeah.
I am 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 from New African TV, and I'm the president of the Ghana Students Union. And it's a great pleasure to have Sister City Council coming to the Gambia to support the movement or the flag that we, the Gambians, are facing to support the candidate municipal council. It's a very big day, and also we are now full of sorrow by losing a gentleman going back to America. It's like a state scale. The most important question that I want to ask inside about the education and also regarding to the fees package in KMC and also the company side. What are the mechanisms that the sister City Council of Madison has to play in together with Lord American Studio? And also, which part of support of education that people want to support? Because Gambia as of now, we have two universities, the University of Science and Technology and the University of Gambia. Many youth also invest into TVET for the skills institution to enhance social and development. And what are the support that you guys doing to people? And also, what are your impressions during this talk?
I think you can go.
Okay. So that's a lot, but let me work through. So on the question of education, the MOU was signed in order to bring the institutions of higher education together, all of them, and to begin the conversation between the Madison College, which is a technical college based in Madison, Wisconsin, and the universities here. And they anticipate having a student exchange where students from Madison will come here and students from the Gambia will go to Madison. But I think based on the conversations that we've had during our time here, that there will be an opportunity to have much more collaboration I don't want to get ahead of those conversations and say more than that, but I can say that I believe that they have been very fruitful, and that Madison College, actually, the president of Madison College, Dr. Jack Daniels, has declared a 4-year initiative to invest, to bring the college closer to Africa and to build these relationships between institutions of higher learning in Africa and Madison College. So this is a deep commitment on the part of the president of the college, and I know that he will follow through on that commitment here in the Gambia and across the continent. In terms of the landfill project, the mayor can speak more to the details, but already members of the Madison community have provided technical assistance to KMC on this project, and we anticipate that we will continue to do that as they work towards establishing a formal landfill, but also work to clean up the dump site. I think there are many things that the knowledge that exists in Madison and Dane County and in our institutions of higher learning can be useful. So we anticipate having a staff exchange on that front.
Okay, thank you. So on the issue of 𝒂𝒑𝒊𝒂𝒂 dump site, we all know this is the biggest health crisis in the Gambia, and we've been fighting with it for a very long time. We actually are working with a few engineering companies in Madison who have actually paid, some have actually paid a visit to look at the challenge we're having. We just mentioned to all the people we visited here in government that Madison is working with a landfill in Dane County. And based on the advice we got from Dane County is the reason we fenced 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 dump site. And that's the reason actually we are getting also support from institutions such as the SOS and the German government. So it's just been an outright positive activity. Now, of course, we need a landfill and not just a dump site, and we also need a transfer station and a recycling center. So this is actually our ambition, and I was just telling the mayor, if there are companies in Madison willing to invest, we do think there are returns here that they could benefit from, and in the same light, help the community who are suffering from this issue. But I'll invite Samba as well, who also has a piece of the action, because he's also been helping connect us with institutions and stakeholders in Madison. Samba?
So I think the two mayors has basically answered the question, but the issue of the dump site is complicated. It's not as easy as 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 is no longer a dumping site, and here is a landfill. It's a lot of work that goes into it. And some of the complexity is also dealing with the central government and things like that. But we also have 3 municipalities that are part of this process. Banjul needs to be close. It's very close to the hospital there. It's very close to the prison. It's very close to the River Gambia. So it needs to be closed. But then how can you get garbage from Banjul to wherever we have the landfill? When 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 is closed, how do you get the garbage from Serekunda to wherever we have the landfill? Brikama, the same thing. So it's a very complex issue, but for the past many years, we've been working on it. So hopefully at some day we can get there. But the project is very alive within the mayor's office and within the mayor of Kanifing's office. This is one thing that we know. Not only does it have to do with garbage, but it's an environmental hazard to everybody. The water that seeps into to the ground is being used by the residents around this place. Fires are coming out almost on a daily basis. So these are things that we need to address, and we are working very hard. The mayor has made some commitments that when we go back, these are some of the issues that we will definitely look into and see how we can work with the mayor here and the central government to make sure this happens for the Gambian people. So thank you.
Also, if I can add, for us to have a landfill, we need land. And yesterday we were at the Ministry of Local Government, and he told us that the challenge in Gambia is that land resources are scarce. He actually said there's a land identified for a landfill. However, they are facing community pushback. The community there does not want a landfill in their backyard. But a decision must be made. We have to have a landfill in order to live in a healthy society. So we again implore on the Minister of Local Government and Lands to push, because 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 is a time bomb. We've said it several times. One reason the water table is poisoned. Another reason, of course, it does catch fire, and the fumes are dangerous to the health of the community surrounding it. So the long-term planning must be made. If a community should be compensated, then they must be compensated. And they must understand, a landfill is different from a dump site. A landfill is properly engineered. It will not cause a hazard if it's done properly. Also, it will create jobs for any community it is put in. So I think that must be understood, because when local people think about landfills, they think about 𝒂𝒂𝒂 dump site. 𝒂𝒂𝒂 dump site is not a landfill. I've seen the landfill in Dane County. I've seen it in other places. I was from the UK. They have a waste-to-energy plant and a landfill. Many people don't even know the landfill is right in their backyard. So I think there's a sensitization needed to be done by government. But for KM, we have no land. KM is the most urbanized municipality. Everywhere is built up. So we have to rely on government for this permanent solution. And we are ready to work with all stakeholders, locally and abroad, to make sure 𝒂𝒂𝒂 dump site is history. So I think we'll accept maybe 2 more questions, because we do have to wrap up today's Friday prayers. Media and name, and who you want to ask.
Okay, my name is 𝒊𝒏𝒇𝒐𝒓𝒆. I'm from 𝒊𝒏𝒇𝒐𝒓𝒆.
Yes.
So my question goes to you.
Yeah.
And I would like to know, in the case where you are no more in the office, because you mentioned that you want exchange program that will be going on for the university students of the Gambia and Madison. So what happens in the case whereby you are not in office and there's another person there? Are we still going to continue with that? Because most of these exchange programs, the moment the person that sets up leaves office, it is usually cancelled or we don't hear from it anymore.
Yeah.
But what happens in this case?
That's an excellent question, and let me speak to it broadly. So the MOU that was signed, it was not signed by me or from my government. It was signed between the technical college on our side, and so that institution endures. It's been around for decades. It will continue to be around for decades, and so regardless of who the mayor of Madison is, that relationship will continue. Likewise, in Madison, we have institutionalized our sister city program so that we have a committee with resident members, with members of our council, and we have a non-political staff, civil servant, who runs the program, and she will be, if I am not mayor, she will still be there. She will still run the program. And so this, just like this sister city relationship started before I became mayor, it will endure after I am mayor, and it will endure, I hope, for decades between the municipalities, regardless of who is the elected officials in charge. Thank you. One more question.
Yeah, I am from Foreign Newspaper. So when you and your team go back to Madison, what is next when it comes to the relationship between Madison and Cardiff? And secondly, one of your purposes of coming to the Gambia is to learn from Cardiff municipality. So what are some of the things that you have learned during your visit?
That's an excellent question. So I think, I don't want to speak for the entire delegation, but I think that we have learned a lot about the situation here in Kanifing and the Gambia. It helps us to understand the context of our relationship and also what's needed as we work on these projects together. I think it's important for us to have seen, for example, the dump site with our own eyes. It's important for us to have seen the women's farm, to have seen the fish market, to have seen the craft market, for us to understand what the situation is here on the ground, in the same way that it's been important for the Lord Mayor to visit Madison to see our landfill and to understand the difference between the dump and the landfill, and to see the work that we have done in our library so that he can be inspired as he builds a library here in Kanifing. So I think that that context is very important for us. And we take that back to Madison. And I think each member of the delegation, again, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think each member of the delegation is inspired to work on a particular issue. And so I think one of the things we will do first is come together as a delegation and debrief and see who was interested in what. I can tell you from my perspective, we will be working to connect our planning department and also the Department of Planning at the university with the planning teams here to see if we can provide technical assistance. We will continue to develop the relationship around the landfill project. One of the things that I think is important to know is that Madison and Dane County are actually currently also siting a new landfill. And we are working on developing businesses around that, developing recycling businesses. And so I think that there is a possibility for us to walk this road together between Canifing and Madison. So that is another thing that I will make happen out of my office right away. I know that Madison College will continue to work on the MOU and the projects anticipated there right away. So I think each one of us will have a thing that we are interested in working on, and we will be working through the sister city group to make the connections needed to advance these projects. Barbara?
I'm going to step forward as an alder. Where's Linda Bakuta? Linda, would you step forward?
Deputy Mayor Linda.
Deputy Mayor Linda. Binta, would you please step forward? I want each of you on the side of me. So a great question in terms of what have we learned. I am an elder, and on each side of me is the future of Madison, Wisconsin and city government and the future of Canopy. My job as an elder to feed into them as they feed into me. And as they know and learn their own strength, I will step aside. This is the new leadership that you should follow. And the question is, are you willing to support and follow new leadership? So thank you so very much for that question.
So I think that brings us to the end of the press conference. Again, we'd like to extend utmost gratitude to the Lord Mayor of Madison, Mayor Satia Rhodes Conway, who I think will leave with some Gambian-ness in her now. And of course, we'd like to thank Alderman Barbara, and of course Charles, and all the Madison delegation who came. You took time from your busy schedules to visit the Gambia, and a lot of you came with your own expense. So I think we have to, of course, thank you for coming to see us, visit us, get to know us, feel us. Norm, team, Musa, Samba, Deputy Mayor, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we hope you enjoy the rest of our country before you go back. And to the staff who made this possible, we've seen you tiring, the PR manager Aisha Fall, Nuru Adams, protocol, of course, the director of administration, Jaja Cham, his deputy. I don't want to miss anybody, the police, the police intervention unit, etc. And of course, to my brothers and sisters, the councillors who are always behind me, supporting me, thank you for supporting this initiative. And to the rest of the KM staff, you've been absolutely wonderful. Utmost gratitude. And once again, to the Gambian government, Ministry of Education, Health, State House, Lands and Local Government, thank you for the support. And of course, my dear friend Samba, who without him, none of this would be possible. He pushed me from day one and kept on conditioning me and telling me to make this work. And of course, as a big brother, I had to listen. Thank you, Samba, for always being the fire behind the lamp. So, without further ado, we'd like to declare this press conference closed. Allah Baraka Unjarama. Thank you.